morning students, hope you all are fine. So today we will see an important topic that comes under midwifery and obstetrical nursing. This will be benefited for all the A&M students, GNM students and BSc nursing students. So today we will see the anatomy of female pelvis. The female pelvis is known as gynecoid pelvis, which is childbearing and essential for the childbirth. So what is pelvis? Pelvis, it is a hollow body cavity, basin-shaped structure that will connect the upper part of body, that is a movable vertebra, and the lower part of the body, that is the lower limbs, that attaches the pelvic ring. So what is meant by pelvis? Pelvis, it is a hollow body cavity, basin-shaped structure. The pelvic ring will connect the movable vertebra from the upper part of the body and lower limbs from the lower part of the body. Next we will see what are the functions of the pelvis. The primary functions of the pelvis is it will allows the movement such as walking, running, sitting, jumping. The next function is it contains the visceral organs. What are the visceral organs? Such as bladder, rectum and reproductive organs. And this will support and protects the visceral organs. And third one is while sitting it bear the weight of the body with the help of the ischial tuberosity. Then next, while the growing pregnant uterus is there, this helps to support the growing pregnant uterus. Then next, last function is it helps in the mechanism of labor and expulsion of the fetus through the body cavity, and we can find out the progress of labor. How means by the descent of the fetal head through the ischial spine. So these are the main functions of pelvis. Next we will see what are the bones that comes under the pelvis. Pelvis consists of 4 bones are there. Here 2 innominate bones. The next one is sacrum and coccyx. Innominate bones appears laterally and anteriorly. Sacrum and coccyx posteriorly. So first we will discuss about the innominate bones. So innominate bone consists of ilium, then next ischium, then next one is pubic bone. Ilium is uppermost part of the pelvis. It is a large flyoidal part of the pelvis. So when we are resting our hand on the hip, we can find out the ilia crust. So ilium, inside the concave portion of ilium is known as ilia fossa. Then next here alae is there, then next body of the ilium. In the ilium, in front of the anterior part of ilium, a spine is there that is known as anterior superior iliac spine. Down the anterior superior iliac spine, another spine is there that is known as the anterior inferior iliac spine. Same posteriorly of the ilium, posterior superior iliac spine and posterior inferior iliac spine is there. So this comprises the ilium. Next we will see lowermost part of the pelvis. The lowest part of the pelvis is known as the ischium. So the lower, thickest, hardest prominence of pelvic bone, this is known as the ischial tuberosity. So I told no, ischial tuberosity bear all the weights while we are sitting. And behind the ischial tuberosity is inward projection is there. This inward projection of ischium is known as ischial spine. So ischium consists of ischial tuberosity and ischial spine. Then next we will see anterior part of innominate bone. Anterior part of innominate bone is known as pubic bone. Here 2 pubic bone are connected by the fibrocartilaginous joint that is known as the symphysis pubis. So here pubic bone consists of 2 parts. Body of pubic bone, then next R-like structures. R consists of superior rami is there and inferior rami is there. Here 2 superior rami is there, 2 inferior rami is there. The inferior rami will form like a suprapubic angle. The normal angle is 90 degree. And this innominate bone will form like hollow. This region is known as obturator foramen. This obturator foramen is formed by pubic bone and ischium. This obturator foramen helps to supply the blood vessels. Then another a deep cup-like structure. This is the deep cup-like structure. This is known as acetabulum. This acetabulum helps to receive the head of the femur bone. So these are the structures that comes under the innominate bone. So innominate bone consists of ilium, ischium and pubic bone. Next we will see posterior bones. Posterior two bones are there. One is sacrum and coccyx. Sacrum, this is the wedge shape bone. Sacrum is wedge shape bone. The uppermost part of the sacrum is known as sacral promontory. Then next, two wings are there. This wings is otherwise known as alae. Sacral alae. Sacral promontory, sacral alae is there. So here this is formed by 5 fused vertebra. Sacrum is formed by 5 fused vertebra and it consists of innermost portion is concave and it consists of 4 pairs of holes. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of holes. These holes are known as foramina piercer, through which the cauda equina nerve will be passing and it will supply the visceral organs. And posteriorly if you see the sacrum it is roughest and it is convex. This will help to attach the muscles and the ligaments. And lower portion of the sacrum, another bone is there, that is known as the coccyx. This coccyx is triangular in shape. It is formed of 4 fused vertebra. This is helpful. This is known as the vestigial tail. This is helpful during the labor. It will move backward and give a space to deliver the fetus. So I hope you understood about bones of the pelvis. Bones of the pelvis, two innominate bones are there, ilium, ischium, pubic and sacrum and the coccyx. So next we will see what are the joints. Joints, if you see 4 joints is there, sacroiliac joint. The joint that is placed between the sacrum and the ilium, it is known as sacroiliac joint. Another joint is there, sacrococcygeal joint. That is the joint that is placed between the sacrum and the coccyx is known as sacrococcygeal joint. Then next one is symphysis pubis. So the joint that is formed between the pubic bone, it is known as the symphysis pubis joint. Then next we will see what are the ligaments. Ligaments, if you see, sacroiliac ligament is there, sacrococcygeal ligament is there, sacrotuberous ligament is there, sacroischial ligament is there. The next one is interpubic ligaments are there. Next we will see what are the parts of pelvis. Pelvis we can tell as a true pelvis and false pelvis. The true pelvis means the obstetrical significance is there in order to deliver the fetus, that is known as the true pelvis. False pelvis just only support the gravid pregnant uterus. So if you see here, this is known as the inlet. So inlet, the part above the inlet is known as the false pelvis. So it consists of the ilium. Okay, this two flyoid out portion that will support only the gravid uterus during the pregnancy. So here true pelvis. What are the parts of true pelvis? Parts of true pelvis consists of 3 parts. One is inlet, then next one is cavity and another one is outlet. Okay, the inlet is otherwise known as the brim. So brim, if you see the brim, the next one is cavity. Cavity, it is a hollow. In gynecoid pelvis, the brim is round in nature. The cavity, it is a hollow. All the diameters all will be same. Then next, outlet, it is an irregular in shape. Then next we will see what is the brim. So brim, here landmarks is there. First one is sacral promontory, aloe or wing, then a sacroiliac joint, iliopectial line, iliopectial eminence. Then next one is superior rami, upper inner border of the pubic bone, upper inner border of the symphysis pubis. So these are the landmarks of the pelvic brim where the fetus will come and engage and it will go with the labor process. Then next we will see what are the diameters of the pelvic brim. So diameters, if you see, here anterior posterior, here 3 diameters are there, anterior posterior diameters are there, then next one is oblique diameter are there, then next one is transverse diameters are there. Anterior posterior diameter, 3 diameters are there in the anterior posterior diameter. First one is anatomical conjugate or true conjugate, then next one is obstetrical conjugate, then next one is diagonal conjugate. Anatomical conjugate, that will start from upper border of the sacral promontory to the upper border of the symphysis pubis, that is if you see 11 centimeter. Then next one is obstetrical conjugate. Obstetrical conjugate from the upper border of the sacral promontory to the midway of the symphysis pubis, that is 1.25 centimeter below the symphysis pubis, that is middle portion, that is 10 centimeter. Then next one is diagonal conjugate. Diagonal conjugate, that is upper border of the sacral promontory to the lower border of the symphysis pubis, 12 cm. So you can remember the anterior posterior diameter of the pelvis brim is 11 cm, that you can remember. Then next one is oblique diameter. Oblique diameter, two diameters are there, right oblique diameter and left oblique diameter. So both the diameters are 12 cm. So oblique diameter, that will lies between the one of the sacroiliac joint to the other part of the iliopectial eminence, that is 12 cm. Then next one is transverse diameter. Transverse diameter, that lies between the furthest point of the iliopectial line, that is the 13 cm. So these are the diameters that comes under the pelvic brim. So you can remember anterior posterior diameter is 11 cm, oblique diameter is 12 cm and transverse diameter is 13 cm. Then next one is cavity. Cavity, if you see, that will place between the pelvic brim and the pelvic inlet. It consists of the sacrum hollow and ligaments are there, and inside visceral organs will be there. So this cavity, if you see, more or less same, the depth will be 4 cm and it is round in nature, and all the diameters will be 12 cm. So mostly we can measure only the AP diameter and the diameters will be 12 cm. Then next we can see outlet. So outlet, if you see in outlet, anterior posterior diameter. So the anterior posterior diameter that comes from the lower part of the symphysis pubis to the sacrococcygeal ligament. So that is the widest diameter, that is 13 cm. Then next one is transverse diameter. Transverse diameter, the diameter that lies between the two ischial spine. So this is known as the 12 cm. This is 11 cm. Transverse diameter is 11 cm, that lies between the two ischial spine. Then next, mostly we will not assess the oblique diameter. So oblique diameter we can tell obturator foramen to the sacroiliac ischial ligament. So this is of centimeter of 12 cm. So these are the diameters that comes under the pelvic outlets. This pelvic outlet helps to deliver the fetal body. So these are the parts of true pelvis, that is inlet, cavity and the outlet. And normal childbearing pelvis is known as the gynecoid pelvis. So gynecoid pelvis, if you see here, you can see round in nature, the pelvic brim is round in nature. And one more thing is there, in innominate bone, two curvatures are there, greater sciatic notch and lesser sciatic notch. Greater sciatic notch starts from posterior inferior iliac spine to the ischial spine. Lesser sciatic notch starts from ischial spine to the ischial tuberosity. So these two are round in nature. So hope you have understood about the pelvis. So we have seen about the definition of the pelvis, function of the pelvis, bones, ligaments, joints and parts of pelvis and the measurement.